of the ghostly Hudson River. Yes, this is Exploring the Ka, and like you know, my name is Rock Castaldo. First off, I want to say to YouTube, man, do something about what's happened to my channel. Figure it out. Literally, my subscribers have been at 2180 or around there, between 2170 and 2180 for over a year. Um, it was growing at a rapid rate as well, and there's a lot of people out there that claim to be intuitive, claim to be psychics, claim to be all of this, right? And I think a lot of them have feelings that there's more out there, but they don't actually experience true visions and true psychic experiences, because we've been closed off. And certain ones of us have gone through traumatic near-death experiences that shocked our system, shocked our DNA, that jarred things. And I think this enables certain people to have certain visions, certain experiences. It's like the spiritual realms are calling to you, reaching out to you because no one else is listening. And where I'm standing right now, I'll get to in a minute, because right behind me you see is the Hudson River here. And directly behind me, right here, the stone that you see in that cannon there, these stones, these massive stones, this is where Benedict Arnold plotted in the, I think it's the 1700s, let me see. I'll go on the sign in a second. In 1780, September 21st, 1780, this is where Benedict Arnold plotted against America's freedom. He wanted the fall of America's freedom. That's what they say that they were plotting against, and where this cannon is pointing at the river's edge is where they had a meeting, where Benedict Arnold once was. And if you guys have followed my work and my radio show and everything I've been doing over the last few years, then you'll know that I had a near-death experience as a young boy. And we are the angels and demons. If you want to call the fallen ones, the archangels, whatever you want to call them, celestial beings, when they figured out a spiritual technology, or if you want to say, learned how to push themselves into matter and take human form, they changed our world forever. Now, if you want to say the original Adam was made to be the perfect man. Now, what do I mean by this is that we had, in my opinion, from what I've seen, experienced, and researched, it seems to be that we've had countless, probably, experiments on this planet. Billions of years of life has been on this planet. And we have a true spiritual Akashic records, a planetary memory of everything that's taken place. What we're online with right now, the computer that you're working with right now, is a replication of the Akashic. It's a replication of all information. Now, we're supposed to be able to communicate to our loved ones, our friends, telepathically, instantly. A link. Instead of that, now we use text messages. We use phones, a replication of our true spiritual technology. This technology has been put here in this realm to trick us, to dupe us, to keep us away from our true spiritual technology, our true spiritual powers. All of this is a replicated reality. Our true spiritual technology it gives us, prolongs our life. The more we use it, the healthier we get. The longer we live. With our replicator version that I'm holding right now, it takes away our powers. It makes us live less. It takes away our years. With every click, another second is gone. Now you can see since the 1840s, we've gone on a rapid incline, a rapid accelerating pace of technology ever since 1840. Now, there's been billions and billions and billions of years of life on this planet. Possibly even 2 times or more. There's been an ice age, and when I mean an ice age, I mean a complete ice age, not little because we've had little ones. I mean a complete ice age where the most of the planet, probably 95 to 99% of the planet, is frozen, with little pockets here and there that maybe have a little bit of openings where certain species were able to live beneath the seas to still keep that life. And we formed from the primordial slime of the past races. Now when you get to Adam, we've had numerous races before them. Some of them were said to have been giants and wicked and evil. Some of them were less in stature, but more gentle, more wise, more kind. And then you come to the atom, the perfect man, where we have a duality. Oh, thank you so much, Jessica. Where we have a duality when we come to the atom, right? We have this duality, a perfect man. And when this perfect man was in his higher dimensional state, in our spiritual higher realm, where there's no time like there is here, no restricted time, there's no death. He was trying to align all the flora and fauna and everything within when he was invaded by a past technology, a past remnants of a past species that was able to replicate that spiritual glow of Adam. And now that's what we're interacting with now in this realm, in this lower realm, causing the collapse of Adam's consciousness into a lower realm of matter where things wither quickly, where we're cut off from our spiritual knowledge. And this technology was seeded here, knowing man would come to the point where they would unravel it. And then once it's unraveled, it's accelerated at an uncontrollable rate until mankind isn't filled with that duality anymore, where it's so out of balance, it's been totally compromised and interfaced with the artificial soul technology, so interfaced with it that it's brought us a new layer of who we are, a new layer to our energetic bodies, like a net over our soul. When this happens, it eventually changes your physical form. And that's what we have when we see gray aliens and certain species like that. That is us when we're completely interfaced with a replicator of the soul technology. Yes, Mark, the Alliance is winning the war. Let me read that comment again. Let me see what you're saying. Yeah, well, the Cabal, what most people call the Cabal, Mark, I feel is the elites of this world who are helping this interface. We are evolving, yes, but we are evolving with a replication of our true spiritual technology. So we are evolving into something else, something rotten. Now, it's okay if you want to become genderless, if you want to become frail. What can we add to that? I mean, I can go on and on. But we're becoming something else. People are losing who they are anymore. You are in a light body. You just have to remember. Your physical form is just a suit that you're wearing. A vessel that you're wearing while you're on this planet for your mission. And your mission is to complete what the Adam started, to complete Eden. And when your mind is corrupted with treachery, with greed, with hate, with materialism, with espionage, when you're trying to play people just to get your way, then you are part of the replication. Now, where I'm standing right now, right here, I am on the phantom shores of the Hudson River. Very, very historic where I live. You can see the ancient volcanic mountains. And now, our world plunged into an ice age a few times because of volcanoes. And volcanoes are also the ones that brought them out of the ice age. It's the begin all and end all of civilizations. It's a renewal and rebirth and devastation. Volcanoes are formed from the actions of man, the sins of man. And you see these shores that I'm standing at? Right here? A few hundred years ago, a well-known person, Benedict Arnold, stood on these shores, plotting against America's freedom, or so the sayings goes. Now it's said, in the dead of night, on the 21st of September, 1780, Benedict Arnold, the traitor, and John Andre, the spy, met at the water's edge, where the gun points, where this gun points, to plot the fall of America's freedom. Now, I've been blessed and cursed with a gift, if you want to call it. From my near-death experience, I have a certain ability to tap into vibrations, to feel spiritual energy. Some say remote view, pick up on things, whatever you want to call it. Psychic. I'm going to walk to the river's edge right now and see what I pick up on. Now, let me remind you that I've lived next to this river most of my 41 years. I lived a few years in California, a few months in Arizona, a few months in Brazil and Thailand combined, but most of my time, you see how these are like coned portals too. Those mountains. Most of my time has been next to this Hudson River. And I've seen soldiers walking from the river's shore, near where my mother-in-law's house is, because she's across from the river as well, that look just as real as you and me. Like real life. They're not apparitions, because they literally look like a remembrance of the past, an imprint of something that once was. The eternal now is bleeding through. I've seen and felt what's on these shores. And there's a lot of treachery and pain that is imprinted on this area. And you see the mist rolling in. Stormy day here as the phantoms gather on the Hudson River. Now there's been a lot of joy here as well. There's been a lot of joy on this Hudson. But if you notice where we are right now, there's no sand here like what's beneath. They do not want people gathering on this specific shore. If you go a few hundred yards that way and a few hundred yards that way, you got beach. You see the beach over there? You got sand. Even right here, look, where those geese are, there's sand. There's a reason why on this one spot you're being called. You're being called, Cosmic Christie. There's spiritual omens around you at all time, good and bad, and it's up to you. They get you to the door. It's up for you to open that door and step in and listen to the voice of the wind. Now I feel that we're going to experience something apparitional as well, or something like that. I could feel electromagnetic energy right here charged up my back. You could see something's approaching. The gods want something. I heard it in the thunder last night. The thunder was pounding because the gods want something. They feel something. Even in my ancient bloodline, the very basics of spirituality is listening to the voice of the wind, understanding the flight of birds, understanding the movement of clouds. They all talk about the way the birds move, the way the clouds move, shows you the past and it shows you the future. There's a reason why there's this shore right here is littered with these rocks where you can't walk on it, you can't be around it, you can't do anything around it. You can't be on this. This is littered with these boulders where they do not want people over here. And then they have this monument here talking what a traitor, talking what a horrible man Benedict Arnold was and his companion, the spy. But in my opinion, when they leave monuments like that and they make a statement like that, it's to throw us off of what really happened. Now that gun, it said where that gun is pointing is where Benedict Arnold was standing. That's pretty much right here. So I'm gonna see what comes to me, what comes to mind, what's the first thing that comes to me. And of course, all of you, and it sucks because I should do this again without my phone. This phone definitely takes away from abilities for all of us. But I feel like the power on this spot is so intense, it's not going to really matter. So I'm going to put the phone down for a second. Maybe you guys can see me. I want to literally touch a rock that's beneath the sea, or something that's out there, something that wasn't put there recently. starting to rain too. Somebody was definitely raped out here. Yeah, I'm picking up on a boat that came right up in here too, filled with soldiers. Silent. Really late too at night, like they say. That's interesting because I am picking up on something, some sort of. I came in here a long time ago. I got to see what Benedict Arnold's face looks like if they have a picture of him, because I have a picture of my mind of someone that was on the boat. It's almost like he looked directly at me too, like he saw me see him. I didn't get no conversation or anything like that out of it, but I got a feeling that he was up to something. But I don't think we have the story straight about who Benedict Arnold was. Now we're right here, right on the shore. Let's look at this other plaque real quick. I finally fixed my virus on my computer. The last couple nights I was trying to go onto Zoom, but my computer was crashing. So if any of my patrons are listening to some, we are going to do a Zoom chat. If not Zoom, then I'll just go YouTube live later. Also, I have stuff I'm mailing out to a lot of my patrons, especially if you've been a patron for a long time. You'll be getting some special things in the mail within the next week. So we read that one plaque. And guys, you could join my Patreon for literally $2 a month. That's the lowest platform, and you have access to pretty much everything. The higher platforms get readings. They get crystals in the mail after a certain amount of months, readings, private readings after a certain amount of months, and access to certain videos that other people don't get. But for $2 a month, you get pretty much the bulk of it, and that's like less than a freaking slice of pizza a month. Now this plaque here says erected November 10th, 1923. Between this boulder and the river is the place where Benedict Arnold first met Major Andre. General of the British Army, to plan for the surrender of West Point to the British. Now West Point's right up the river a little bit. They also have the Stony Point battlefield, which is right behind my mother-in-law's house, basically. And I've seen many ghostly figures on that street. So it says Andre landed from the Vulture. What does it say? Landed from the Vulture the evening of September 21st, 1780. Early the following morning, the conspirators prepared to the home of Joshua Smith, about 3 miles to the north, where Arnold finally agreed to surrender. That's exactly where the Stony Point battlefield is. Where Arnold finally agreed to surrender West Point for £10,000 and a commission in the British Army from the Smith House. Andre attempted to return to the British lines. He was captured at Terrytown, which is right next to the Hudson River, right where Sleepy Hollow is, the legend of Sleepy Hollow. My mother's buried right near there in Valhalla, the gates of heaven. And tried, convicted, and executed as a spy at Tapan, which is like 15 miles from here, October 7th, 1780. So they executed this motherfucker right up the road from here. Major Andre. It's pretty crazy. It's weird because I feel like I just met either Benedict Arnold or Major Andre. I think I just saw him face to face as he was coming in. They were in a boat that looked like a fucking canoe. It didn't even look like a boat. Like it was like a small raft type thing. So I don't know if they came through a bigger boat and then got off onto a side raft and then came in here on the side raft right up to in this way. That's what I'm thinking. I think they came from the British Isles, probably from on boat or somewhere else. I don't know how they came, but proving what's the handwritten rhetoric. Proving what? There's handwritten what? Proving what? I didn't deny anything. I just think that the exact story isn't what they're saying. That's all I'm thinking. Wow, Major Andre down on your birthday. That's interesting that you've got pulled into this. You probably have some fractal sparks of Major Andre, if you want to say. Some fractal fragments. Yeah, for sure. He's talking to Christy. For sure. You probably have some fractal sparks of Major Andre, and you're maybe on a mission to help some of that karmic energy. Dude was fucking executed right over here. Yeah, this is very interesting. You were led here. I can't wait to go back to the computer or phone in a little while to look up Major Andre or Benedict Arnold's face, because I think I just came face to face with one of them. The thing is that he knew I was watching. That's how it proves that there's an eternal now. I know you can all say I just made all that up and stuff. That's fine. But if that's how you feel, you shouldn't be watching a channel like mine. They don't want anyone using this, huh? Shit's locked. It's summertime, too. This is the time you would have a boat over here. This shit is locked. And they got a log across it there. I felt like somebody was raped on those rocks, too. That was the weird thing. I heard a deafening scream, and then someone had like a hand go over her mouth. I don't know if she was raped, but she was definitely fearing for her life and safety. The thing is, what's this plaque? These are just recent people that dedicated things. It's raining on me too right now. I would love to know more about that stone there too as well. Especially this other little stone here. So the name Rebecca just came to me. Or Robert. You see, let me try to explain to you guys how my psychic visions work, if you want to call them psychic or whatever you want to label it. I pick up on vibrations. I get symbols. The way I see in astral is it's like a holographic encoded universe. And when I do see faces, they're talking to me through their eyes, and it's a knowing that comes over me. But it's like I see symbols, like when letters come to me in certain ways, in certain shapes and colors and knowings, that's how I can, and numbers come to me that way as well. But they'll come to me in certain forms, like the number 9 can be really intimidating. It can come like a big towering tree or a building, something like that. So when I try to interpret a name or interpret a thing like that, I'm using letters and numbers, and I'm trying to put it together. Sometimes I'll see a rose or a flower or a certain thing, and I have symbols that mean certain things in my psyche that I've picked up on over time. After you see a certain symbol and then you experience a certain feeling and knowing, you then realize the next time, whoa, when I see that symbol, it means this. So it's taken me many, 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 many freaking years to understand the way my psyche works with that, the way I see things. So the name Robert, Roberta, or Rebecca was coming to me. I don't know if it's connected to Major Andre or Benedict Arnold or Christie for that matter, but it was something to do with what we were talking about, for sure. Yeah, we all find each other because we are soul family. We are a collective consciousness, and we could form like fucking Voltron and fight the universe with real soul technology, not the replication that we've been interacting with. I'm walking up all these steps. Look at all these shits now to get to the top street level. But yeah, you see they have the weeping willow tree over that spot. And I forgot to talk about it there when we were there, but this weeping willow tree is very ancient. And the first thing I felt when I came over here was the tree's auric field. I forgot to even talk about it when we started doing the video. But this tree was here when Major Andre and Benedict Arnold was here. I'm feeling it's 400 or so years old. I'm feeling it's from the 1600s. That's what I feel. I feel about 400 years. And probably could be more. But I do feel it's possibly 400 years old. Maybe, yeah, 1600s. That's what I'm getting. That's what's coming to me. Is that this is from the 1600s, this tree. This is a weeping willow tree. The arms of the willow are connected to the ancestral memory of the past. Any shaman will tell you that. And you can see it's almost like spiral DNA. It's almost like a helix type entwined in the tree. This tree is alive. Right here, all this stuff you see, if you look at the auric field of this tree, it's literally moving in codes. It's almost like it's digital, but spiritual digital. These twinings, it's like codes moving up and down, flowing like water up and down, knowledge up and down the tree. You can see it's moving like a double helix, like a entwined snake, all up and down the tree. It's encoded with magical information, magical memory. It's weeping and rejoicing with the ancestors. And I hear the dog barking in the past. That means I'm right. As the leaves fall on the rock, an aroma of the past as we spiral